Welcome back to Rival Talk. This is episode 9. We're your co-hosts. I'm Abo. That's Matt. For those of you returning, thanks for coming back. If you're new here, I'm a Cowboys fan. He's a Commanders fan. We grew up down the street from each other, and we just chop it up here for about an hour or so, twice a week. Um, Today, we're just gonna review week 6 of the NFL. We made picks last episode. We'll go over how we did then, and we highlighted a few games too, and we'll dive into those here.
Yeah, last week we highlighted our first co-games of the week. I think we should probably start on one of them. I mean, they weren't very good games. We kind of had to, start off rough for our games of the week, but our first one that first game of the week that we did was the Jags game, Jags Colts. That was our first co-game of the week. We were very excited about Gardner Minshew's return to Jacksonville as the starter of the Colts, and he just I don't want to say disappointed. They got behind early in that game. I mean, the second quarter, the Jags just exploded. Travis Etienne, 2 touchdowns, Christian Kirk, a touchdown. Just like that, they're down 21-3. Like,
Right.
from that point on, you got to rely on Gardner Minshew to just air it out. And that's what they did.
I
He
mean, yeah,
threw it.
he threw the ball for 55 times.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
he completed the ball 33 times for 329, but he threw 3 picks. So we were high on Gardner Minshew going into the week, just because we're fans of him, but not the best showing for him. Also, Indy couldn't run the ball. Not that they tried running the ball that much, only 17 attempts on the day, but
and 2 of them were by Gardner Minshew, which are probably scrambles. So,
right.
yeah.
And I mean, we see that in the NFL all the time. You get down early, you have no option. I mean, running the ball takes too much time. You got to air it out. I mean, you got to throw it 40, 50 times to even have a chance. I mean, they scored 14 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Almost made it close, but not really. But
Yeah.
that was the exciting part about that game was just Gardner Minshew coming back to Jacksonville. And actually, we didn't even originally have that game picked last week as a game of the week.
Yeah, we
We looked at
decided
it and we were like,
right on the
whoa, whoa,
spot.
whoa, whoa, we're gonna go. It was first time ever making a game of the week, and we decided we needed a co-game of the week.
Yeah, and we both took the Colts in that game, Gardner Minshew's return. So we both
Quite
started off
disappointed
0-1
in that
there.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Then we quick picked a bunch of games last week. So starting in London, we both had the Ravens on the road, I think, right? Or did you have the Titans?
Nope, I had the Ravens as well.
Yeah, we both had the Ravens. I mean, it felt like a London game. It was pretty sloppy. I mean, I remember waking up and checking and seeing the leading receiver was Odell Beckham Jr.
I woke up. It was the second quarter. I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Just because it's early, those London games, you got to get your day started
Yeah, that's
quite
like when,
early.
it's also one of my days I can sleep in. So, I like to take that in.
Hey, but
Yeah,
we,
we
we we quick picked it for a reason. We knew
a
it was gonna be early.
slugfest.
We weren't gonna catch most of it, but we were right. Ravens won that game. I think the Titans did almost make it close there at the end, but I guess Ravens in London caught the dub.
Yeah, and then we're into our 1 o'clock games. We had the Jags game from that one. We also, but going through our quick picks, what was the next game we had? You have them in front of you, right?
Yep, I had Seattle.
Yep, we had,
They,
and I had
they
the
did not
Bengals.
win. You went with the Bengals.
Yeah, that
Yes,
was
sir.
just, Jamar played, it felt like the first half, and he was still the leading receiver on the team. He had 6
It
receptions for 80 yards. Nothing special, especially coming off a 3 touchdown performance, but they got the win.
it
They,
wasn't a great offensive day all around, really. I mean, final score was 17-13, I believe.
yeah,
It wasn't a great offensive day all around, but yeah, I mean, I thought Seattle was looking good this season. I mean, it's not like they got blown out or anything, and it's not like Joe Burrow is trash. But
yeah. I mean,
I
the
don't know.
Bengals,
I thought they would catch the dub.
I think the Bengals could be back. I mean, they improved to 3-3 after starting 0-3. Like, they're not blowing teams out, but they're winning. They're finding a way to win.
May
It's
not be may
Eh,
not be back, may be on the way, but heating up.
yeah, they're making
Taking
progress.
the right steps for sure. I mean, they did not look good even even week 3, I think they caught their first win, and they still didn't look that good. But they are taking the steps in the right direction. I mean, Jamar looks good, Joe Burrow's playing better,
Yeah.
caught the dub there. Well, I did not do well at 1 o'clock, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, looking at my list here, I've got 4 straight in red. So I had the Bears winning.
Yeah, that was a wild take by you. I mean, Jordan Addison got his touchdown, the production had to go somewhere. I'm glad Jordan Addison could get his touches. They had a fumble recovery, but
Oh,
Justin
no,
Fields got hurt in that game, so
I'm gonna defend my pick. I'm gonna defend my pick there. So, yes, Justin Fields got hurt, didn't finish the game. It was still a close game. And, Justin Jefferson was hurt, knew he wasn't gonna play last week. I thought that was gonna definitely hinder the Vikings offense. And then the Bears, 2 weeks in a row, Justin Fields played well. He threw for 4 touchdowns in both of those previous games. And I thought they finally figured something out on offense because DJ Moore looked great the previous 2 weeks, and then Justin Fields gets hurt. But it was still a close game. You said it was a crazy pick. I don't
no,
think it was that crazy when you think about it, but yeah, the Bears still aren't a good football team,
yeah.
especially I mean, as much as we hate on Justin Fields, I mean, he like we said last episode, he's been playing a lot better. So
Yeah.
without him, I don't think it gives him a better chance to win this season, at least.
I mean, we both got this next game wrong. The 49ers.
Oh boy, how I mean,
How are we supposed to like Deshaun Watson was out, like
with a
there's
backup,
no reason they should have lost that game. I mean, they
because
missed the kick at the end. The
even with
defense,
injuries they suffered
yeah,
with their
Christian
stars, I mean,
McCaffrey,
Debo as
Debo.
well, and I'm not sure if they're Trent Williams is
Oh,
also hurt his foot. So there's 3 injuries right there they suffered that game. That obviously hurts them on offense, but the Browns played the entire game with PJ Walker. I mean, he wasn't even on the Browns to start the season, I don't believe. So
I mean, they also had 4 field goals, so it's like their defense was making stops, getting them good enough field position that PJ Walker didn't really have to do much. I mean,
that Browns
he
defense is for real.
PJ Walker had 2 interceptions and they still won that game.
I know. That was the crazy part because that 49ers defense is crazy. Fred Warner's best linebacker in football, and they
He
they lost.
PJ Walker had 192 yards, but of those 192 yards, Amari Cooper had 108 of them on only 4
Amari, dude,
catches. He had
I'm gonna say
4
it every
catches.
week. Every time you say his name, I will never forgive the Cowboys for trading him away. Like, on top of that, we got a 5th round pick for him. But, like, oh, goodness. 2 years later, he's still balling. Amari Cooper's a dog.
That's how I feel about Trent Williams.
Yeah, but that was a different
Yeah.
situation.
He wanted to leave, so we
Oh, but one last thing I wanna say about the Niners, I definitely didn't believe they would, or I definitely didn't think they would lose. But it is good to see as a Cowboys fan that the Niners can be beaten. But I don't know if them losing right after playing us the way they did, like, should make me feel better or make me feel worse.
yeah.
Because because they just lost to the Browns, but they did that to us. So,
Yeah.
oh man. Oh man. Whatever. It's week to week. It's situational. It's all about matchups. We can hop onto that next game.
Uh did you have the Saints in this game?
No.
So we both had the Texans.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
that was a good pick. I
Finally, I'm
mean,
seeing green here.
Derek
We just
Carr
went 3
got
straight.
hurt and he went
Um,
to the hospital. I mean, they said they dodged a bullet, but it seemed pretty severe because he was on his way to the hospital. Oh, sorry, that was Jimmy G. I'm way ahead of myself. Derek Carr finished the game.
oh, buddy.
My apologies. They're both basically the same person to me.
And also, CJ Stroud also played well. I think he had another 2 touchdown performance.
Finally had an interception.
He did finally throw his first pick. I mean, it's It's gonna happen at some point for everybody, but congrats. It always happens very shortly after they break that record. Always. I mean,
Always.
they only break it by, like, well, I think he went, like, a whole half a
Oh,
game or
yeah.
whatever before he threw another pick, but he's still looking good. I like him, and I mean, the Texans are what, 3-3 now?
Yeah, Texans are 3-3. Saints are also 3-3.
And what did I say, episode 2? I said the Texans defense is gonna keep them in some games,
Yeah.
and not it didn't only keep them in some games, I mean, they outscored them too. Their offense played well, their defense played pretty well. I like how their defensive-minded head coach. I'm a fan of the Texans, so I saw this on a trend on Twitter, not really trend or whatever, but the fans of CJ Stroud, they call themselves the Stroud Boys.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
an official member.
sorry to put you back in the red, but we gotta go over my favorite time of this pod. Commies game. You know?
Yeah,
You didn't believe.
I didn't. But that's I don't know. It's a division team. And like they're in my division. I want them to lose as much as possible.
I mean,
I also wanted to pick against you there, and part of my belief for that was my dream scenario. Do you remember my dream scenario from last
yeah,
episode?
Taylor Heineke did not enter the game, but I
It
bet.
might after that game though. It might have to happen at some point this
I
season.
mean, Desmond Ritter lost in that game. I mean, they had
Yeah,
two
of course.
chances to tie the game late in it because we won by 8 points. He threw a pick in the end zone, and then we stalled out. We punted the ball. Then they went for it on fourth down. We got the ball back, punted it again, and then he threw a pick there at the end, like to seal it.
Bro,
Like
he had 2 chances at the end there, one with the pick, and then he even had another chance after throwing the pick, and nothing,
yeah,
nothing.
I mean, we kind of contained their running attack, I like to say. I mean, Bijan didn't really eat. Brian Robinson did score a touchdown though, so which one's the better B Robinson? Who knows? I'm not one to suggest things, but stats don't lie, right?
Whatever, bro, whatever. Stats definitely lie.
Stats definitely lie if you want them to.
It depends on which stats and which circumstance you're looking at, but stats can be helpful, but they definitely lie.
They definitely lie. I mean, it was a birds down kind of week, you know?
Birds down type of week. I like
Commies
it.
Commies go and end Desmond Ritter's 31-0 streak. I saw something that
Oh,
saw
I
something on
forgot
Twitter that
about
said
that.
the Commanders are streak enders. We ended the Steelers 11-0 streak a couple years ago in like 2020. We beat the Eagles 8-0 streak last year. The Bears 15-game losing streak, and now this one. Oh, and not to mention the Ravens preseason streak. You know, they go on and on.
And not to mention giving the Bears their first win this year, just
No,
beating them down.
I mentioned that one. I
Oh,
said
okay,
that
okay.
Bears
My fault,
15
my
game
fault.
losing streak.
My fault, my fault.
Come on. You
Oh,
know, I tried to squeeze it in there, but you had to bring it back out, you know?
my fault, my fault. But
Yeah. I
I heard you mention a lot about quarterback on
yeah, I mean Sam Howell, I mean
the home
he
team.
didn't have to do
I
much,
wanna
but
hear
like
how you thought Sam Howell played, because I know you watched every second of that game.
I didn't watch every second because I was at work, but I watched a lot of the game. Probably more than I should have for someone who was on the job, but Sam Howell, you know, he didn't do anything special. I mean, he only had 151 yards, but 3 passing touchdowns. Like the defense was really carrying for us the game. Terry McLaurin had 81 yards on 6 catches, you know, kind of getting him
Ooh,
involved. Like it
the
kind of, I said at the beginning of the game when I was watching to one of my friends, I said, excuse me, sorry. I said, it just looks like we are running the Jamar Chase get him involved scheme with Terry McLaurin. And, you know, can't be mad. I was going against him in fantasy. Finally got a dub in fantasy. We can get to that later. We are now 2-4. Climb back up. We're going for the playoffs. But yeah, Sam Howell didn't do anything special. Curtis Samuel now has 3 straight games with a touchdown. Um,
There you go.
Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson both scored touchdowns. So, we got the points where we needed.
Brian Robinson's touchdown it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, he decided to just lay the other guy out.
Dude, I saw the replay. Terry set him up. He was blocking him, then he got out the way, and Brian
Yeah.
Robinson.
I mean, I saw a tweet. Sorry, I'm just pulling it up. It was going into the Monday night game, so the stats are not adjusted for Dak Prescott, but it did show that Sam Howell is averaging 250 yards a game, 9 touchdowns on the season with only 6 interceptions, with a rating of 90.1. And that was the best in the division, with Dak Prescott in second place with 212.2 yards per game, 5 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, with a rating of 87.5. That is also not including Monday night's game, which he did not have an interception, or
Threw
he had a
one.
rushing touchdown, but not a
Threw one,
pass.
man, and he
Did he?
ran one.
Did he throw one? Oh yes, to Brad. Sorry, getting ahead of ourselves, but to Brandon Cobbs.
Brendan Cooks.
Right, Cook. Sorry. Why am I confusing names today? It's just my head's all jumbled. And then Jalen Hurts, who has 257 yards per game, 7 touchdowns, and the big number, which is 7 interceptions, with a rating of 84.7.
I
7
didn't hear you.
interceptions.
I didn't hear you. What?
7 interceptions. That is how many Jalen Hurts has. I mean, we'll check back in a couple weeks when he's at 13, right?
I can't wait until he ends the season with more interceptions than Dak. And the second Jalen Hurts throws his 15th pick this season, I'm going crazy. I mean,
Well,
I'm
Daniel
not going to shut up
Jones,
about it either.
who is easily the worst quarterback in the division. It should be
Well,
updated now with, Tyrod Taylor, who didn't look bad. We'll get to that game as well. But Daniel Jones is 176.8 yards per game, 2 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions.
oh,
I mean, injury or not, you got to bench that guy. And I'm glad to see they did because, I mean, I'm more scared if
injury
Tyrod
though.
Taylor plays next week than if Daniel Jones plays.
Yeah, dude, I think he is honestly better for that offense as
Yeah.
much as dude, I think he's so bad.
All right. We got to move on from this game. We've talked a
We
lot about the
did,
Commanders. Sorry for holding
but
us up.
no, that's one of the games we highlighted last
Yeah.
episode, so I wanted to spend a little more time on it anyway, but we can fly through a few of these next ones here.
Yeah. Quick picks for the Raiders game. That's where we talk about
Ooh,
uh
I'm seeing a lot of green here. For
yeah, we
me
did I have the
and you as
Raiders?
well. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sh- I'm sure I had the Raiders, correct?
Yes, sir. We were both right there.
I mean, the story of that game is Jimmy G did have to leave with that severe back injury straight to the hospital. Uh they are saying that he dodged a bullet, so
We still caught the dub. Sorry.
yep.
Patriots are. Oh boy, we were right. They're bad.
Yeah. Patriots are bad. Um yeah, that's really all I got from that
That's
game.
Belichick losing to one of his own coaches too. Oh, did you see Devontae Adams got lit?
Oh
You
yeah.
seen it? He got cracked. Oh my goodness. Was that was crazy.
Then
Do you
we
remember that
got
segment back in the day called "He Got Jacked Up"?
yeah. Then
Bro,
we
he would
got
have been on
the
that.
next game we got, which we were both right about. It wasn't really a surprise. The Rams over the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, the
Rams are the
Cardinals
better
just
football
didn't
team.
play as close as they usually do. I mean, is this just a story that the Rams are they're really good? They could
Yeah,
be. I mean, it does
I
sound
was
like
a hater preseason.
Kyron Williams got hurt in that game. So,
He
and
had a great game, 158 yards, I think, 2
yeah, but I think
tuds.
he's hurt, right? He's gonna miss next game.
I'm not 100% sure. I mean, we'll see what usually Wednesday, Thursday is real
Yeah.
good on knowing what's gonna happen going into next week. But
Um,
yeah, the
that
Rams
takes us straight into a game that we both got wrong. We both had the Eagles over the Jets.
did.
Um,
Uh, I was
especially
wrong here, but I'm happy. I mean,
oh,
let's
I'm
go, man.
thrilled. But the
Let's
Jets were
go.
missing Sauce Gardner and DJ. Like they were missing their top 2 corners, and they still were able to go out there and
and
have
Zach Wilson was
yeah,
playing. And Zach Wilson played this Eagles secondary, and now the general manager of the Eagles is looking for veteran help in the secondary now. After playing Zach Wilson, so that's definitely not a good sign.
yeah,
Not that their defense is bad, but their secondary is not great. And I mean, it wasn't a very high scoring game, but when you turn the ball over 3 times in a close game, that's definitely tough. Like,
yeah,
especially that last one.
yeah,
Um, oh man, there was I think it was 14-12 with a minute and 40 seconds left on the clock in the fourth quarter. And oh boy, ugly ball.
yeah,
Ugly ball. I don't really understand the play call either. Throwing it on like second, I don't know. But he forced it in there, pick, they score the next play. And then oh my goodness. I love to see it. I love
yeah.
to see it.
I was very
It'll be
thrilled.
you said what?
I was thrilled to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, my first thought was this game was maybe the Jets can be contenders for the playoffs without
I
Aaron
their
Rodgers.
defense is gonna keep them alive because that is yet another quarterback that Jets defense did embarrass. I mean,
Yeah,
their head coach, Saleh, he was correct. I mean, -1, but he said after the game, "We might not have won every game, but we've embarrassed every QB we've played, -1," because Dak was not embarrassed. He had 80 something percentage or completion percentage against him, 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. But every other quarterback that has played them this season has thrown at least a pick and not played well. Not at all. So that's why I say -1. But
we
Eagles lose here. We're both wrong, but I love to see it. Love to see it. And maybe the Jets can hang around till Aaron Rodgers gets back.
then we got the Sunday night game, the Bills Giants. I guess the story was Tyrod Taylor and the Giants defense somehow holding the Bills to 14 points. I mean, it's crazy. They had like their first turnover or something. They played with the lead for the first time this season. Their first offensive snap with the lead was in this game.
Oh, weren't they up 14 nothing at one point or something like that?
No, the Giants were up 6-0 until the fourth quarter. Maybe 9.
Okay.
Yeah, 6-0.
Wrong game.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrod Taylor looked like a competent quarterback. I mean, Daniel Jones, they just kept showing him on the sideline, and
How'd
God,
he look? Well, he wasn't in pads, right? He's injured.
no, he was street clothes.
Yeah. I mean, I was sleeping. Um, I did not get a chance to witness this one.
I mean, it was
But
crazy.
wow, it took the Bills three
Three
quarters of
quarters.
football to figure
This,
something out.
yeah.
Wow.
I
And yeah,
mean,
I mean,
also
Tyrod Taylor,
the big story was
sorry.
the Giants ended the first half and the second half on the 1 yard line,
I
and
did see that
did
clip. They
not score any
spiked the ball
points.
on the one. Yeah.
So no, they he checked to a run play with 8 seconds left,
Hmm.
and they ran the ball, didn't get it, and they ran out of time. It should have been a pass. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, and then at the end they had the holding, and then maybe a holding, maybe not. I mean, Giants fans need to shut up. Last year they celebrated when they had a holding call not called. Happens to everyone. Sucks to suck.
Hey man, I honestly didn't know Saquon Barkley played. Good to see him
Yeah,
back.
Saquon Barkley played. He played well.
24 carries for 93 yards. At least he got close to 100, but dang, they were making sure he was really healthy if they were gonna give him 24 carries on his first night back.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Wow.
just kind of how the game went. And then that takes us into our other co-game of the week, the Lions in Tampa Bay against the Bucks. We both did we I got this one right. You got it wrong. No?
Yeah, I did. I did think the Bucks defense was gonna be able to step up, and I thought Baker was playing well, but that was not the case. Um, That was not the case on Sunday. I mean, 6 total points from the Bucks. I mean, Baker threw it for 37 times, had an interception, was only sacked 1 time, and I mean, I guess that's why his, completion percentage is horrible. He was just throwing everything away. Only had 206 yards. They couldn't run the ball for anything. I mean, as a team, they attempted 16 rushes for 46 yards. So,
Yeah, and I mean, the betting man was back. Jamison Williams scores a touchdown.
good to see him back. He was
I
electric and
texted in
powerful.
my group chat as a joke. I said, I hope Jamison Williams bet anytime Jamison Williams touchdown today. And
There you
uh,
go.
sure he didn't when with the new NFL guidelines. Doesn't want that other suspension. We're glad to see he was back. Jared Goff looked good.
He
Uh,
did. They
the I
they
mean,
throw the ball a lot because I guess that's because of I mean, probably the other than the Lions being a legit team sitting here at 5-1. I mean, they're good. I mean, the big takeaway from the game is the injury. I mean, David Montgomery, what's that mean for the rush attack? Is Jameer Gibbs finally going to get his workload, or is he still battling from injury? Is it going to be Craig Reynolds, or are they just going to keep airing the ball out 45 times a game? What do you think's going to happen?
I assume Jameer Gibbs will be back, get some carries. I mean, it sounds like they don't want to use him as a workhorse, so it sounds like Reynolds could get a good load.
I mean, he was kind of taking the place of what Gibbs kind of does when they have, I mean, Montgomery and Gibbs. So, I mean, between the two of them, I don't know.
Yeah, it
It's
seems
weird
like they
how they
both play
hyped
the
up
same
Gibbs and
position.
now they aren't using him. I mean, it's just weird how
Yeah,
they don't want to use him as the feature back. But with David Montgomery gone, I mean, they didn't
someone's got to
really.
take some carries. I mean,
He's
Obmon St.
already missed
Brown,
time.
he went off 12 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Had himself
Dude,
a day.
he's good. I mean, he's so good.
Yeah,
He's really good in fantasy too. He's a consistent, very consistent. Gets a lot of targets. Sam Laporta had a mediocre game. I mean, he was struggling some injury, but he still got some targets. Only 4 receptions, 36 yards. I mean, I guess
yeah,
the touchdowns have really been carrying his fantasy performance, not necessarily yards or catches, but I'm blaming the injury this week.
yeah. I mean, Lions still looked very good, even without a running attack, and the tight end kind of hurt.
And
Defense stepped up.
they didn't even score that much, and
They have a seriously good defense. Aiden Hutchinson is amazing.
it is. And even with losing, I mean, starting safety week 1 or week 2 or 3, I mean, in CJ Gardner Johnson, their defense, their secondary is still playing well.
Yeah,
It comes down to coaching, effort, the opposite of as I've said about the Broncos. I mean, that's why they're losing because of coaching and effort and just oh boy, it's bad over there.
yeah.
But
Takes us into our
leaves
last
us
game of the last game of the slate. We
yes,
got
sir.
the Cowboys and Chargers.
Last night's game. I mean, why'd you pick against us, bro? Why were you a hater?
Because I'm a Justin Herbert lover.
Me too, but not when it comes to playing against the Cowboys. But I guess it's different for you. But is
I mean,
that's really the reason you picked? You just like Justin Herbert?
oh,
Was
I
there any
love
other
Justin
reason you
Herbert.
thought the Chargers were going to beat the Cowboys?
I also don't like the Cowboys.
Obviously, so you just wanted to pick against them. That's why I picked the
Yeah,
Falcons. I mean, no real reason other
I
than
mean,
I like Heineke now that he's off the Commanders.
I mean, my fantasy game yesterday came down to CeeDee Lamb is what my opponent had, and I
I
had
need six
Justin
more
Herbert,
points.
and I was up by 6 points. That's what it was. I was up by 6 points, and at one point in the game, I thought to myself, it was right when the Chargers were punting the ball, and
That was
they
a few
threw
times.
their blocker into your return man, and then the other guy touched the
Oh,
ball, and yeah, right
read the
before.
rule book. Read the rule book.
Hey, you just can't hit him as
Should have been
long
our
as
ball.
you know, your guy
By
ran into
rule
him.
by rule, it was our ball, and it's crazy that they challenged it and still got it. Cause like, in the rule book, that's our ball. You can't hit him into the guy, you can't hit if he's caught for a fair catch, you can't touch him at all.
But
Even if
he
oh my
was in
gosh,
touch. If a teammate runs into you, like,
he was pushed into him.
eh,
Crazy, crazy.
eh,
Whatever. But so you don't have any other real reason you thought the Chargers were gonna win?
I
Just
mean,
you like Herbert, you don't like the Cowboys?
their offense has been very good. I really thought it was gonna be a shootout. This is a lot
That
slower scoring
me
game.
too, me too.
I
Way,
think
way
if it would have
lower
been a
scoring
shootout, you
game.
guys probably would have lost. But your defense was nice. Like they were doing a very good job. I felt like the whole time, giving a lot of pressure on Herbert.
Yeah. And we Austin Eckler, first game back, held him to I think like 50 something yards.
Yeah,
Um, they couldn't run the ball very well. I mean, that we both had one or two drives where it looked like, oh, whoa, like this other team's not gonna be able to stop him at all. But then like we kind of settled into the game. I mean, you just mentioned if you thought it was a shootout, you don't think we would have won. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, I kind of agree. But due to coaching, I mean, Dak played very well last night. I mean, one of my notes here is just Dak is a dog. Let him use his legs, dude. I mean, that rushing touchdown. I mean, I tweeted it last night. That's more impressive than every single brotherly shove out there. Every single one I've seen, bro. I don't care. But Dak looked good. He threw the ball 30 times, 272 in the air. He had one touchdown to Brandon Cooks. Finally found a way to get him involved, which is exciting. Um, he there was one. He had a dot to Michael Gallup, dropped it in the end zone. So should have had two touchdowns for real.
yeah, I saw that one.
But I
I
mean,
was as excited for you that one as you were because it wasn't CeeDee Lamb,
yeah.
and it
I
felt like
mean,
every ball that was getting caught was CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he had 7 catches for 117 yards.
yeah. He balled. I mean, that's why I'm wearing. That's why I'm wearing this one today. I mean, I guess we've learned. I mean, a few examples now. If you want the ball as a receiver, you got to complain publicly.
Yep,
Media's got to talk about it. And then, I
boom.
mean, he only had 7 targets, 7 catches, and 117 yards. But imagine what he could do with a few more looks. I
Yeah,
mean, just
like
take a few more shots at him.
get him 10
Oh my
targets.
goodness. Like a few weeks ago, we were talking about Jamar Chase with 19 targets. Imagine a game with CeeDee Lamb gets 19 targets. My goodness.
Yeah,
He looked good though. I mean, one note about our offense was I was excited to see is it was first down. We ran empty set and threw the ball. Oh my goodness. Like up until now, you could have predicted, okay, we're gonna hand it off to Tony Pollard. It's gonna go 3 yards up the middle. It's gonna be second and 8, 2nd and 7. But we started throwing the ball. I mean, we were airing it out at the beginning. I liked it. I mean, I think we've got to trust Dak. As silly as that sounds, with how much everyone hates and his interception problem. I mean, that's bullshit. He's so much better than people give him credit for. I mean, we've got to trust him more, I believe, rather than like tighten the leash, as people would say. I think we got to, as people were saying about Russ in the past, let him cook.
yeah.
And then, I mean, Micah stepped up at the end. He had some pressures. It's crazy how the impact he can have in a game doesn't show up on the stats sheet, but then he did there in the fourth quarter with that late sack, and then of course Stephon Gilmore with that game-winning pick. And then just the last few things I'll say about the game is it was a big win. I mean, we definitely needed it. It was a big win. Um, I'm worried about um, I'm worried about our offense, though. There was a couple stupid mistakes, which just comes down to coaching. Just I liked some of what I saw, but it's just certain scenarios, like right before half, we chose to let the clock run down. I mean, we're running the ball in stupid situations, and penalties are atrocious. So,
I have one question for you.
what's
Um,
up?
you guys tried the brotherly shove or the tush push, whatever you want to call it. It didn't work.
It did.
Are the Eagles the only team that can really do that, you think, in the league?
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, I can't hate it. It's just not impressive.
Yeah, I mean,
But I say that even though they're the only team that can do it, but, like, whatever, bro. I
it's
don't
just a
care.
quarterback sneak. Come on.
But they asked Dak why, like, why it didn't work, and did you hear his response?
No, what'd he say?
They were like, "Well, they didn't they didn't push my tush enough," because they were like, what happened on your tush push?" And they were like, "They didn't push my tush enough."
It must have been because
You said what?
when you see it, Dallas Goddard's right on Jalen Hurts' butt when that happens.
And, I mean, it also helps that Jalen Hurts can squat like 600 pounds.
Yeah. All right.
But, yeah, I mean, good win there. I mean, overall on the week, what? You had a good one. I mean,
Yeah,
your
I went
best week yet.
11-4.
11 wins, only 4 losses. I had not my worst week yet. I mean, last week was, but second to worst week yet. I mean, 8 and 7. I took a couple shots on some games, did
Did
not
not
pan
pay
out.
off. Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
see if I start making some wiser picks. Most likely not, but
yeah,
we'll figure that out next episode.
yeah, I'm so down. I think it's time for our new segment.
It is. I did forget to mention this. I mean, here at the beginning, but we do have a new segment here. And we're actually going to be introducing a guest for this show. It's actually my brother, and his name is Ben. So the segment we're going to call it Ben's bullshit because he's going to come with questions. Just get us talking. More of a kind of a debate centered part of the show. So whenever he hops on here, we're going to get going. He's got a few things for us and get us talking a little bit.
Yeah, think he's joining right now.
You guys hear me?
How we doing,
Yep.
Ben?
What's up, Ben?
We're doing good. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Oh,
Like
no
Likewise.
he
problem.
said, my name is Ben. This is my brother. This is my good friend. Lives right down the street, of course. How about them Commanders, baby?
Hey, left hands up.
R.I.P. Sean Taylor. Let's go.
Hey, yeah. What do you
Okay,
got
Crazy.
for us, Ben? You got
let's
us.
see.
You're coming
We're
up with
gonna
a
play a
couple of
little game here
questions
in a
for us.
second. We're gonna play a little game here in a second. But for now, let me talk about the tush push for a second. You didn't even bring up the biggest factor as to why that works so well.
Oh, it's
Oh,
Jason
Jason Kelsey.
Kelsey
Jason
and
Kelsey.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
didn't even bring that part up. One of the best centers, probably almost of all time.
probably of all time.
Definitely top 10, but
Yeah,
at least should be a Hall of Famer. But
In the conversation, Hall of Famer.
he could possibly be a
Agreed.
first ballot Hall of Famer. I think.
Both of them. Could you imagine
he'd
if
be
they
he'd
retire
be one of
same
the first
year?
centers to probably do that. Did Jeff Saturday, was he first ballot?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
He
He's
feels like
probably in the Hall of Fame either way. But
yeah.
all right, let's play a little game. How about we do that? Okay, so
What you
player
got?
A, player B. You tell me who is better. And you can't say anything, Andrew. I think you already know where I'm going with this. This is a Matt Saul game. All right. Player A played for 15 years in the league. He is I'm not going to say the record because that'll give it away. So his total yards 57,023. Total touchdowns 366. Total interceptions 244. Has 4 All-Pro seasons, 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
Okay.
Player B has total yards 62,000. He's played 14 years in the league. Both of these players are retired now. Played 14 years in the league, one less year than player A. Has 62,792 yards, 381 touchdowns, and 183 interceptions. Has a regular season MVP and 4 All-Pro seasons and 1 first team All-Pro. Or Pro Bowl season, sorry. And 1 first team All-Pro. Who would you say is the better quarterback?
So if I heard that correctly, player B has more yards, more tuds, less interceptions.
Yep.
And an
And
MVP.
Regular
the same
season.
amount of Pro Bowl seasons and a regular season MVP, but player A has 2 Super Bowl wins and 2 MVPs. And also try to guess the players I'm talking about as well.
I think I know one player.
I think you know player A.
I think I know player A as well. I
Yeah.
think based on the stats and everything you said, like I think a MVP of the league is just a step higher than the MVP of the Super Bowl. Because a Super Bowl MVP, yeah, you made it, but there's a lot of good defenses that have taken a lot of, okay quarterbacks to the Super Bowl. And
I
I think
agree.
I would take player B, and I think player A is Eli Manning.
Yep. You're 100% right. Do you know who player B is? Any guesses?
Oh, like
I do know, and I have a clue, which it might give it away to you, but I mean it'll help you, which I think should be a part of the stats that we bring up. When
I
talking Super Bowls, he has a quite historic Super Bowl loss.
the other one, Cam
And
Newton.
both players have played the same team in the Super Bowl every time they played in the Super Bowl.
Oh, so the other one was not Cam Newton.
Nope.
No,
So someone else who played the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
it was around
Most
that time.
historic loss in the Super Bowl of
I think
all
it was
time.
the next year.
Is it the next year?
Mhm.
It was the year he won MVP. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it was.
Matt Ryan.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. That's it.
So I
And
guess
I have some more. I have some more points as to why I
wait,
think Matt Ryan's a better quarterback. But
I
sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
I do have a question. I mean, when thinking of okay, I don't know, because they did play the same person, like same coach, same quarterback in the Super Bowl. One of them beat the the one 2 times. Like Eli beat Tom Brady twice,
Well,
and
let's get into that. How did he win Super Bowl MVP when he wasn't even the biggest factor in the reason that they won either of those games? David Tyree catching that ball, that was an awfully thrown ball.
Yeah.
The helmet
agreed,
catch, and
agreed,
also his defenses were elite
elite,
both of those years.
correct.
They
They
were
had
amazing.
the
They were
second
8-8 one of those years, and they were taken to the Super Bowl not because of Eli Manning necessarily. I mean, he played okay.
He was good
He's
enough to put up points to win when his defense
eh,
played well.
he was an okay game manager. Yeah, his defense was Human Tuck or Justin
Yeah,
Tucker. Yeah, elite. They were so good.
they
And
also
Human
had
Space Max was sick. So,
they had
oh, that was
JPP
Chris
the
Canty
second one.
actually. My bad. Huh?
yeah,
The
they
second
did
Super
have
Bowl they had JPP, I think on his
Chris
second year.
Canty. Oh my goodness.
Chris Canty, dog. I thought he was on that team. I just know that their defense was still really good
Oh my goodness, their defense was incredible.
both those
But,
years.
I mean,
And to be fair,
crazy.
Matt Ryan has his only weapon he's really ever had was Julio Jones.
Yeah, but like
Tony Gonzalez.
Julio
One of the
Jones is
best of all
Julio.
time,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. But
You could
they never
almost put
had
him
a
up there with like Megatron. Nah, that's a little too high. But
I know what you're saying though. He's up there, but
yeah,
yeah, Megatron's
Athletically,
probably
yeah,
the best
maybe
of all
not
time. So
resonate.
Megatron or Randy Moss. I think one of those two
but
would probably be.
it's not like Matt Ryan ever had an elite defense
No.
like Eli had.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get to a Super Bowl with a bad defense. I mean, Dan Quinn was the head coach there. You see what he does with the
No, that's
defense
fair.
here in
Yeah.
Dallas. So it's not like, I mean, you can't say elite. I mean, I guess you could say elite. I mean, a defense that gets you to Super Bowl is good defense. I mean,
Oh, 100%.
unless you're winning every game by 40, like the Chiefs, because most like their defense is usually the downside of their team. But we'll get
Also,
into
that helmet catch almost single handedly won that game as well,
it. It was
and that
crazy. I
was
mean,
not a
it
great.
was part of the comeback.
It was a
Yeah.
great play by him,
Crazy. I
David
mean, it's
Tyree.
really the only
Dog.
play, really the only play he's remembered for.
I'm for sure a hater. That's for sure. I do not like Eli Manning, but I still would say Matt Ryan deserves to be in the Hall of Fame more than Eli Manning. Well, they both deserve it, but Matt
Yeah.
Ryan's still questionable to get in because he never won a Super Bowl.
So, you have a final answer, Matt? I guess mine would be, it has to be Eli, because
Like,
of who he beat in those games.
but if I need a quarterback one season, I want Matt Ryan in his MVP season.
Oh yeah,
If that's what
and
it
Eli
comes
never
down,
had one.
Do you want an MVP season quarterback who gets you to the Super Bowl and then doesn't score a point in the second half after scoring 28 in the first?
well, throw him on the Commanders this year. I think it's a different story, you know.
Or did Kyle Shanahan
MVP,
throw that game on purpose so that he could get Jimmy G to San Fran the next
maybe,
year?
maybe. Who knows?
Crazy.
That's something pulled up for Eli's Super Bowl stats. They're not great either. But anyways, all right. Let's get into my next topic. How we think Julio Jones is going to do on his new team, the Eagles.
Same as he's done in the last few years.
Yeah, I
Minimal
think.
impact.
Yeah, he's what, wide receiver 3 on that team.
Yeah, he'll be a role player for sure.
He's gonna have, 12 snaps a game,
Yeah.
maybe. Run like 8 routes,
I think somewhere
2
deep
clear
in their
targets.
playoff route run, he's gonna, score a touchdown.
He's not gonna be I don't even think he'll be active weekly. I think he'll
You
be a
know,
healthy scratch
Yeah, it
some
might be like
weeks.
every now and then or whatever.
Yeah, and then, they're gonna save him for probably the playoffs and just
some
depth.
like
Definitely not going to be. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
I think they're gonna use him on a tush push on the outside and just throw it up to him instead of like fake tush
Yeah, I
push,
think
throw
Yeah.
it up.
he's in the red zone. He's gonna get a lot of red zone. I actually think he's gonna get a lot of work in the red zone,
Yeah.
but that's probably about it because I mean age.
He's definitely not someone to look out for in fantasy football to pick
Uh-uh.
up, but he could definitely be an impact for the Eagles down the line.
You think he's used weekly in the game plan? I
No,
don't,
I think
other
he's
than
going to
red
be
zone.
used. I think he's
He's
going
he's
to be used in
a
smart ways because
34-year-old receiver. As good as
he's
his
not going to be.
has been, he's the last 3 years, 2 years, I guess. He hasn't been able to separate. He's not playing as physical. He's not as fast. I don't know.
But
He's had a
but
great
teams think
career,
that
but
same way too, and he's still a great receiver, and he's not going to
he's
be
had a
double
great
teamed
career.
anymore.
He should have hung it up.
He's not going to be double teamed anymore, so he's still going to have some pretty clutch catches, I think, in the postseason.
I
I guess
think
if that what'd you have to say, Matt?
in the red zone he'll definitely be a
Yeah, it'd be
factor
a dog.
somewhere like in a playoff game. I don't think it'll be a weekly thing. I think you're right.
No,
He'll
yeah.
be scratched up most of the time, but he'll make an impact, a small impact at some point.
We'll
He'll
see.
definitely be a role player, that's for sure.
Yeah,
He's definitely not
he
getting
might
every snap.
score. He might score a few tuds. It might help him out in the red zone.
Him and AJ Brown played together, didn't they? And he was trying to get AJ Brown was trying to get him on the Titans for a while.
They were on the Titans together.
Yeah, I think he was a big key as to why he got the Titans. He
That's
didn't
probably
really do
that's
much
probably
on the
why they
Titans.
brought. That's probably why they brought him into the Eagles too.
Exactly, yeah. That's
Hmm,
what I'm thinking too.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't see him having a crazy impact. He's 34, plays receiver. It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think he could have a couple clutch touchdowns at the end, but
Yeah, and yeah,
we'll
in the
see.
red zone, a few touchdowns here and there, but he's not going to be having AJ Brown type games, like 8 catches for 150 yards. That's not happening. He's not
Still
breaking
hope
for
those
80.
still hope those Philly scumbags get a loss in the postseason at some point.
Oh yeah. I hope,
I hope it's you. So then we have to play you in the playoffs. Oh my
That'd be
goodness.
fun.
Dream
that'd be
scenario.
amazing.
That'd be
Dream
fun.
scenario. Oh my goodness.
Right.
Your postseason record, we might actually beat you.
Yeah, we could.
Hey, what's record versus you though?
I don't know. It's
Yeah, we only
probably
played.
probably close to 50-50.
When we have Dak?
No, that's a bullshit stat. That's one of
Bullshit that.
Nitpicks.
that's one of the ones they put on TV that's like this is the only team to do this in the third quarter while
Oh
being
yeah.
this far, but like come on,
Yeah.
that's a bullshit
Not
stat.
really, not really
Bullshit
though.
stat.
Not
What's
really though.
what's our record against you with Sam Howell as our starting quarterback?
1-0.
Yeah, suck it.
Congrats.
Dak's never beat Sam Howell.
That's true.
Yeah, these are facts. Bullshit
Guess what?
stats, but they're facts.
Guess what? Jalen Hurts has never beat Dak Prescott.
Sam Howell's never beat Jalen Hurts.
Actually, no, yes, they're 1-1.
Maybe we were close though.
Hey, we got them
They've
again in
only
2
played
weeks.
against each other twice.
Yeah.
What else you got for us, Ben?
All right, let's see. Belichick done as GM. How close is he to being done as head coach? Because I don't think he's close to being done as head coach.
To
But
be honest, I think he's
GM,
closer at head coach than he is at GM.
what being done?
Yeah.
Really?
I think he would step down as head coach, give it to his son, stay GM before he gives it all up.
Yeah, because in what
Well, him
world do
being
you see a scenario where Bill Belichick has been choosing who is on his roster so he knows how to coach them and he knows exactly what he's getting for however many years, to where now he has to coach whoever somebody else decides to give him. That's never going to work. So, as I think, as long as he's coaching, he will be the GM. And the day he can't be the GM, he will not coach. He
I mean,
won't
to be
do it.
fair, he
He
knew
won't
he
want to
knew what
do
he
it.
was getting as head coach this year and
20
last year, and
years.
they have not been good.
He makes every free agent signing. He makes the decision when they draft. He builds the roster every single season from practice squad to in-season signings, all
Except
of
for
it.
that one time when his dog made the draft pick.
Right. Dude, all of it. And there's not a world that exists where Bill Belichick coaches football and is not able to construct his team the way he's been able to do for 20 years. I mean, he's not
At some
going to let
point, you got to hang
somebody
that
else.
up. Though.
He's not going to let somebody else build his roster for him.
They're never going to be a winning team with Mac Jones, to my
That's
opinion.
true, which is why they started to experiment a little bit at quarterback. I mean,
And it's not like it's just Mac Jones. Their whole team is really bad right now.
maybe they really are tanking on purpose. I mean, Belichick has cheated in the past, and he knows the rule. He knows the rules so well. He's gotten them changed in the NFL.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
there are rules created because Belichick knows how to manipulate the rule book.
Yeah.
What, you
I
think
mean,
he's going for Caleb Williams?
I don't know, but
I don't even know.
That could turn them around. Can't
Who
lie.
knows if Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in this draft,
if
right?
they
Yeah, that's true.
if they have the top 5 pick, Drake Bay's the next quarterback of the New England Patriots.
Maybe. I wouldn't be
All
surprised
right.
if they tried to get JJ McCarty.
Ooh.
Michigan guy, you know?
Don't hate that. They look really good this year too.
Yeah. I mean, second year in a row, they're top 3 team in the
Yeah,
country.
They do look really good.
which has been a while since they've back to back been this good.
Yeah.
I can't talk college football. There's too many games that finished 75-7.
What you got next, Ben?
All right, let's go. Super Bowl predictions. Who we thinking so far?
I mean, it was a weird week, you know. All of the undefeated teams lost, a lot of the good teams lost. I mean, the Bills played a tight game to the Giants, which we already talked about. We weren't sure if that's, you know, the Bills slowing down or maybe Tyrod's leading some intensity of this team. Maybe it's Saquon being back. Who knows? But right now, my wishful Super Bowl prediction, you know, got to throw the commies in there, climb to the top.
I love that.
Hey,
Uh,
if you bet $100 on it, you win like 16 bands, something like that.
oh, no way. I mean,
I have to throw that in right now.
yeah,
And you
wait.
throw 500 at it, you win
What
like 60.
what are the odds? Is it plus 65,000 still or 6,500?
I'm not quite sure. We were talking about it at work today. I was just curious what it was going to be
I
for the
mean,
Lions. If you bet like $100, you win like 50 bands.
yeah, I
Or
mean,
not the Lions, the Panthers. Sorry,
oh yeah.
blue colors got me tripped up. But
Yeah, my
Super Bowl prediction. Yeah, sorry to cut you off.
my AFC team. I mean, the AFC is gonna be fun to watch. It always is in the playoffs. I mean, I think the Jets are gonna squeak into the playoffs, and maybe Aaron Rodgers will be back to lead them by
Yeah.
then. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is doing some crazy things to his body right now. Who knows what's happening? It can't be good for the long run, but you know, maybe
Ayahuasca's helping him out. There we go.
something like
I
that.
don't,
I mean,
I don't know how you look at the AFC and say it's not still the Dolphins, even though they've lost.
I mean, it could be the
I'd take the
Dolphins,
Chiefs over the Dolphins still. I would
the
take
Chiefs,
either
the
Chiefs or Bills.
Bills.
I guess there's 3 teams because one team just snuck up into the conversation if they could figure something out on offense.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be more
The
than 3
Cleveland
teams.
Browns have a defense that can win you a Super Bowl if they can figure
They're
something else out
really good
on
at defense.
offense.
They're really good.
The Jags could play some serious football in January, December. Like they can play, they can make a run for it too. I think the AFC is as competitive as ever right now. I mean, the NFC is also, it feels very competitive, especially with our top 2 teams losing.
For me, it's got to be the Dolphins.
I want to say the
I think the
Chargers.
Chargers could actually make a little run in the
Yeah, I was just
AFC.
gonna say that, but they had a tough game this week, so
Yeah, well, to be fair, a big reason as to why they didn't do as well as they could have is because Eckler just came off an injury. I feel like they weren't using him as much
yeah.
to make sure he doesn't get hurt again.
I
That was
mean,
still a tight game over there, Amo, huh?
No, I knew it was going to be a tight game. I just thought it was going to be a little more high scoring.
yeah,
Yeah.
But Kellen Moore did not get his revenge.
he
But if you
almost
look at
did.
the stats, oh my goodness, we have the same amount of possessions. Our third down stats are almost identical. Quarterbacks' passing stats were almost identical. It was so funny. Time of possession was the same.
It's a pretty good game all around, honestly.
It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
I
Before this week and last week, my prediction was Bills and Niners. Bills lost last week and then played tight against the Giants, who I don't necessarily think are very good, really, but Saquon coming back to have a factor into that.
and you
And
gotta
Josh
be careful what
Allen.
you're saying. We got them this week.
Yeah.
Josh
I
Allen
hope we
was
fuck them up
impressive.
real quick.
I hope we do too, but I've learned to bite my tongue a little bit after the Bears.
It's always hard, especially a division game too, and the Bears.
Oh,
What were we doing?
we got to beat
That
the
was
Giants. We
All
got
right,
to.
sickening to watch.
I've got two matchups just because I've got 2 teams on each side. I can't choose between.
So,
So,
what's your AFC championship and your NFC championship?
oh okay,
Ooh,
yeah, I guess that yeah. Dolphins, Chiefs, AFC, and 49ers and
you said the Cowboys. I swear, that's what you're gonna say, wasn't it?
the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Wow.
Ooh, I don't hate that.
Honestly, I like that.
I
I don't hate it.
love them. I think they're better than the Cowboys right now. They might not have better weapons, but they've been playing better football all year. They're 5-1. Their defense is legit. I'm a big fan. Jared Goff has been playing well.
Do you think Jared
But
Goff's gonna prove the Rams wrong and prove that he
he
can win a
already
Super Bowl?
has. I mean, you can't really say he already has because I mean Matt Stafford gave him a Super Bowl the
Yeah.
year they traded for him. But I mean,
The question is, can Jared
also
Goff win a Super Bowl? That is the question.
sometimes you just need a change of scenery. I mean, sometimes you just need to switch it up.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the offense they run in Detroit's a little different. And I mean, it did take. It's not like he played great his first year in Detroit. It took him a little bit. He's still only in like his 6th year,
Yeah, I mean,
7th.
I think the trade benefited both quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%.
For sure, 100%, and both teams. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
Like,
Goff didn't ever
yeah,
really play this well in the Rams.
no.
big fan of the Lions,
And I
but
love Dan Campbell and what he's doing with the
I
Lions. I
can't
love
pick
him.
the Eagles. I can't pick the Eagles. I think the Eagles are frauds.
No, they're gonna
Oh,
lose the commies first round.
Their
oh,
secondary's
I
not
love
good.
that.
Their secondary's not good, and if you can stop their run game and make Jalen Hurts beat you with his arm, he can't.
I still got to. I think my NFC championship. It's got to be Niners, Eagles.
Niners, Eagles. I mean that's the safe choice. Honestly, I'm just a hater of the
I
Eagles.
like
Obviously,
I like the Niners
until we do
Lions.
better than them.
I like
Yeah,
that one. I think I'm also gonna ride Niners Lions for my AFC. I think I'm gonna go Jags Dolphins.
Okay,
I
big
like the
Trevor Lawrence
Jags.
believer, huh?
The Jags, they've only gotten better this year, and they made a deep run last year. We cannot forget that
No.
Mr. Saturday. Yeah, they went. They won the first round and then lost the round before in the divisional round.
Oh my goodness. Does that mean Dak Prescott made a deep run last season?
All right. Not a
Oh
deep.
my goodness.
But
Oh
Wait.
no.
Take it easy. Does that
The
mean Tony
different
Romo made a deep run when he was playing?
no.
Let's
I
go, man.
misspoke.
Let's go.
I
Deep
guess a
run.
deep run would be the NFC AFC championship, which they didn't. But Mr. Saturday, Trevor Lawrence, like they got a nice team. They got Calvin Ridley this year, like Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Travis Etienne's been going off. Their defense has been playing better.
I still would take the Chiefs over them.
Yeah, I can't believe you're
I have a
giving the
hard
Chiefs
time
out.
disbelieving the Chiefs.
I mean, their offense is struggling, but when it hasn't it in the first 4 weeks of the season? I mean, they did lose Bieniemy, but I mean, look at the last 3 years. They've started not necessarily slow, but like they've lost a game or two in the first 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, Mahomes started 2 seasons ago, maybe last year, leading the league in picks. He was throwing stupid picks left and right. Then they kind of
Still
settle in, figure it out. They just find a way to win.
still arguably at the end of his career gonna be the best quarterback of all time. At least talent wise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's on pace for more Super Bowls than
Even if
Tom.
he has two less Super Bowls, I still would argue that he's gonna be the best of all time, barring injury.
We'll see what happens. But did you have anything else for us? I mean, we all made picks here, right? Matt, did you have anything else about Super Bowl?
No, I mean, I'm more excited about the AFC than the NFC. I hope the Commanders make the playoffs. You know, if we make the
I hope 3 teams from the NFC East make it. That'd be sick. Again.
no, only two. Fuck the
Oh, they
It
Cowboys.
do.
won't because of the West. Um, I don't think very many teams are gonna make it from the East because the Rams look good. Obviously, the Niners are gonna win, and then the Seahawks look pretty good as well.
Yeah, true. How about Gino though? He's looking good.
Yeah, I mean, he's all right. I'm still not, I think he's definitely taken a step back this year than he did last year, and he looked really
Yeah,
good last year.
Finesse
yeah,
to bag.
true.
Every quarterback who got paid this offseason hasn't been playing incredible. I mean, the best one's probably been Lamar. Lamar's been playing quietly great. They just have not solved that issue at receiver.
No.
A
They
lot
just
of picks and
dropping the
fumbles though.
ball. And OBJ's old. He can't stay healthy.
Lamar can't stop fumbling. That's one of
How
his
many
biggest
fumbles has he lost
problems.
this season?
Huh?
You know how many fumbles he's lost this year? I didn't know he was having a fumbling issue really. But he's
I
playing.
mean, it's
He's
almost
throwing
been
the
at
ball
least
well.
one a
People
game.
are just dropping it.
I'm in fantasy. That's how I know.
Sure.
Oh,
You have any more questions for us?
Are we all completely out on the Bengals? This is my last question.
oh no,
All
I'm a
out
big
on the
Jamar
Bengals?
lover.
Nah, he's the biggest. Every week he's preaching Jamar is back. I mean, I like Joe Burrow. I'm not out on him. They won this week. Why would we be out?
They still don't look great,
I think they're
and they
winning
did
games
start
though.
slow last season too, and then brought it back.
Like, I mean, I'm definitely not out on them. Matt was saying they're back. I said, hold up, they're not back yet. I mean, they're taking steps in the right direction. They might be heating up, but no, I'm not out on them. I think the opposite. I think they're taking steps in the right direction, at least offensively. I mean, defensively too. They held the Seahawks 13 points this weekend, and that was really good last year. So no, not out
You
on
see
the
them
Bengals.
making the playoffs with how competitive the AFC is, though, especially starting this slow.
Let's think about it. I mean,
I think they could win the
They might be a
division.
6 or 7.
it's
They'll
gonna
probably be a
take
wild card.
gonna take some work, but I mean that division's not won yet. I mean
Yeah, that division
the,
kind of
the
is.
league winner or the division leaders at 3-2 and was on a bye last week. So
Two of the best coaches in the NFL having awful seasons, Mike Tom and Belichick.
very true.
Both look pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean
Back to
it's just the
Lamar's
offense.
fumbling issue. He only has 3 fumbles, and I think
No, that's
only
not too
lost
bad.
one of them.
How many
Yeah,
interceptions? Good amount, right?
no,
3.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So Lamar's having a quietly
Yeah,
good year.
sneak up season. He'll be all
that's
right.
what I said. Sneaky, like,
Yeah,
but his completion percentage and yards and things like that, he should have more touchdowns. And just their offense should be performing better, but his receivers are young and they're dropping the shit out of the ball.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
They're
true.
dropping it every week. It's
Still
crazy.
a great rushing quarterback. He's good.
Oh yeah, I mean he's throwing the ball better too, and
Yeah.
I mean they still haven't put up a ton of points. I mean losing J.K. Dobbins sent you back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all kind of struggling a bit, but who's winning that division right now? They're all kind of tied at the top,
The
aren't they?
Steelers
All
were
pretty
winning
even.
it going into the bye at 3-2 because they beat the Ravens.
But
Yeah,
I
they're all
mean,
like around 3-3
the
right
Browns
now.
could win that division. The Ravens.
Browns defense is
I don't
nasty.
think the Steelers can, but I do think the Bengals can.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna take a little bit. What the Bengals are 3-3, Ravens are 4-2 or 3-3.
I have no idea. Let me check. So the Ravens are 4-2, top of the division. Steelers are
Because
second with 3-2.
and two, they
Cleveland
won
with
by.
3-2, and the Bengals at 3-3. So
So they're
that,
all like right there. Yeah, that
yeah,
division's up for grabs.
Yeah.
And whoever doesn't win the division probably won't get a wild card, especially with how difficult the AFC is right now.
yeah.
I mean, who knows though?
Depending on how
Anything can
well the
happen.
Jets do and for their AFC East, the AFC East could send 2 teams, 3 teams.
I think
Yeah, true.
I think I think the real like competition for that division is going to be the Ravens and the Browns, though. I mean, both of their
Yeah.
defenses are good. The
Yeah,
Ravens defense is good.
I mean the
Jets
Browns
might
did beat the Ravens
arguably
already
have one
once
of the
this
best
season.
defenses. Both those defenses are really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are. And then the Niners. I mean, I can't
Just
stop talking
nasty.
about the Niners. They're good.
Yeah, I think the Niners losing was kind of good for them. They're gonna take a step up now. They're not gonna hold back on anybody.
Yeah, but they also took some injuries, so we'll
Yeah.
have to go through that. But
All like injuries
They
that
do that
they're gonna
every
come
season. But
all their injuries like they're gonna come back from now. It's like
yeah,
ankles and
yeah.
stuff like that. It's not like a torn ACL or anything like that. They're gonna be out all year or anything. But
Oh, there
the
is.
Bills, I don't know anymore. We'll have to
What'd you say?
see.
What'd you say?
I said Bills, I don't know. They played the Giants stuff and they lost last week. We'll see.
Let's see. So I was just gonna say, this is just a stat that came to my mind since we were talking Super Bowl earlier. I tweeted it last night, but I was just thinking about all of the starting running backs and slash leading rushers for the last like 10, 12 Super Bowls. The leading rusher or starting running back for the last like since 2009 for the Super Bowl champions hasn't made over $2.5 million that season. So like all of these running backs that make 10 mil, like that the money needs to go elsewhere for you to be well rounded enough to win a Super Bowl. I mean, it can't just be a coincidence. I mean, the Cowboys, we set ourselves back by paying Zeke. I mean, McCaffrey, wherever he goes, it kind of puts him back a little bit. But I was saying this all day because I was talking about the stat at work with a few friends. The Niners, it's a little different because if they do end up winning the Super Bowl, it'd be because, I mean, who's the last quarterback in a Super Bowl that was on a rookie deal that was like under $1 million a season?
yeah. He's literally Mr. Irrelevant. He
No, I
has
mean,
the
I guess with that's where the money would even out. So, I mean, I guess the Niners could, but because no other quarterback, I mean, even first round quarterbacks that play in Super Bowls are still first round picks usually. Jared Goff, I mean, he's
Russell Wilson.
still making third. He was a fourth round pick,
Yeah, but he played in a Super Bowl
All you really
on his
have to
rookie contract.
but he was still making more than $1 million a year, I believe.
Probably.
But also,
all you really have to be in that offense is a system quarterback, the ultimate system quarterback right there. And he is playing above a system quarterback right now, I feel
right?
like.
I mean, I was trying to
But when
say
you
that,
have that many weapons, it's hard not to play that well.
Yeah,
and
Brock
also,
And
Purdy. Brock Purdy
sorry,
is not a game manager like Dak Prescott. He is a system
yeah.
quarterback.
And it helps having probably the best left tackle in the fucking league.
Yeah, definitely helps him.
And we fumbled that bag real quick, didn't we, Matt?
It had to happen. We've already talked
Yeah,
about it. He wanted out. We couldn't hold on to him.
yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah. Amo, you got anything?
So you were telling me Brock Purdy's not a
No. He's a system
game
quarterback. There's a
manager.
difference.
You said he wasn't a game manager.
No.
It
Dak
doesn't
Prescott's a
have to be.
game manager. Taylor Heineke's a game manager. Brock
Okay.
Purdy's a system quarterback. Difference.
Okay.
In a different offense, would Brock Purdy be a game manager? Probably, but he is a system quarterback because he's in the system.
Because he's part of a good system.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm a fan of him. He's like Ben was saying, like, yeah, system QB, but he's playing better than like expected.
Yeah.
But he loses a few key weapons, and then what happens against a really good defense?
Yeah.
They
They
lose.
lost.
Yeah. He threw a pick too, first one of the year. But I don't know. I like him.
Yeah.
Still young, he's growing. He'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean that was his first regular season loss, I believe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is pretty fucking crazy. That was like 10, 12 straight. Oh, that is wild. But Ben, did you got any bold takes or predictions for this upcoming week since you won't be on for our next episode?
Just hope we beat the Giants. Don't got any bold takes right now.
Hope
Hope
we
you
beat the
beat the
Giants.
Giants.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So Ben's pick of the week is Commanders over Giants, I guess.
I'll just take the over.
Who's scoring a touchdown for us?
Who is?
Yeah.
Scary Terry and Curtis Samuel both. Parlay it right
Samuel, fourth straight week with a touchdown, and
now.
Curtis
Yes, sir.
Scary Terry getting in the touchdown column.
Yes,
I
sir.
like it. Love to hear it.
That's probably a pretty good parlay. That's probably a good money maker right
Yeah,
there.
you might as well place it, If you were a
Yeah.
betting man, it sounds like a good bet.
Yeah. I'll put it in right now.
All
All
right.
right, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Oh
Appreciate it.
yeah.
We
Well,
appreciate
Catch
you,
you
Ben.
guys at some point.
I guess that concludes the first go around of Ben's bullshit. It wasn't quite that much bullshit. I appreciate you for joining. We're gonna
No
try and
worries.
have guests on. I mean, as we keep going, but here was the first one, and we appreciate you for joining.
Thanks
We'll
for having
catch
me,
you next
fellas.
time. See you,
Thanks,
brother.
Ben.
Yo, Commanders, fuck the Cowboys. See you guys later.
Peace.
Bye.
All right. Well, that went well.
Yeah.
I do like kind of adding a little bit of just a third perspective, kind of get us talking a little bit instead of just reviewing and previewing games.
Yeah, I think it's a great take for the whole podcast. I hope the listeners who are still with us enjoyed that. If you are still with us, hit the like button, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at Rival Talk Pod or on TikTok at rival.talk.pod.
Hell
All
yeah.
those are down in the description. We appreciate everyone who's still here. Amo, you got anything?
Yeah. I mean, I hope you guys just liked us just trying out the first guest there. I mean, I think one of Matt's friends is gonna be coming on next episode. We're gonna as we start to get into the rivalry games later in the season, we'll start having other perspectives from other teams we can kind of make some picks with and chop it up with. But thanks for tuning in, especially if you made it this far. Like Matt said, don't forget to like, subscribe, check us out on TikTok, Twitter, all that at Rival Talk Pod. And we'll catch you next time. Appreciate it.
Peace.